raised with no religious background at all, but I just became obsessed with anything to do with nuns, and in movies on television. For years wanted to do a play based on Hollywood religiosity. And so finally we did The Divine Sister. It was never intended as a, kind of a Christopher Durang-like, biting indictment of the church, because I don't know anything about the church. All I know is what I saw in the movies, and I loved it, And so it really ended up being, it's kind of a survey of the history of how Hollywood handled religious themes, which was very difficult for Hollywood. They don't really have a vocabulary for it. In the 40s, the nuns and priests are kind of kindly and folksy, and it's very sentimental. And then as the cinema really matured with more challenging themes in the 50s, you get kind of what's called nun noir, which movies like Black Narcissus, or even The Nun Story, where it's just you see kind of the behind the scenes of the convent and the seething frustrated sexuality. And then in the mid '60s, oddly enough, even though the '60s was such a a politically wild period, there was this brief period where there were these movies like The Singing Nun or The Trouble with Angels, which had these very kindly, folksy, cutesy nuns. And then, of course, we go up to the present with the Da Vinci Code, which once again we're back into the secrets, of the Vatican. So so it's been fun in The Divine Sister to touch on that whole history of Hollywood's view of religion, and I think we handled it pretty well, and it's just got enormous laughs and wonderful roles for actors. And when we were doing The Divine Sister off-Broadway, we had to have understudies. So we asked our friend Marcy McGuigan, who's a wonderful actress, but who's about my age, she's over 40, let's put it that way, and she had to understudy all the female parts, and the roles ranged from the old dowager to the young postulant. And we thought, well, Marcy was so right for all the parts. One role, she's sort of a stretch as the young postulant, but what are the odds that she's going to have to play that part? Well, of course, that was the part she had to go on for the most. But it was very interesting about the casting. Amy, who created the part, is a very young girl, and she was fantastic in it. But it was very interesting when Marcy went on, and she's the first one. Agnes is the first one on stage, and here's this lady who's clearly, a mature lady, but she's just playing the role of the innocent young girl, and she played it so well, and it worked in its own way, that it kind of established the whole style of the play, in a sense that in my case, you were going to have a man playing Mother Superior, and there was so much double casting going on that it kind of established that tone of anything goes right from the beginning. And you can cast it in a very realistic way, or you can go against type. The important thing is that the actor really is honest and really plays the character.